Well, hello there, Sea of Thieves pirate. Do you want to start selling like this? And stop looking like this? Well, if you are, I have the perfect strat for you. The following strategy will make you more or less a safe profit with a very small chance that others will try to steal your loot. This is especially handy for new solo players or new duos. You can tweak the strategy however you like. If you make it more riskier, there will be better rewards. Like I said before, this strategy is basically for the newer players who can't seem to make a good buck in the more crowded world events. So what we will be doing? Now we are going to stack the little fortresses around the map, the ones filled with phantoms. They all have their own vault with some decent loot in it, and they can be stacked. What that means? Well, that means that we can move the loot inside the vault around, leave it there, come back 10 minutes later and redo the whole process until you have no more time to play or maybe a grade 5 emissary flag. Let's go over the process on how to set everything up. When you spawn in a new server, flag up for either the Gold Hoarder or the Order of Souls. If you want a complete passive experience, you can choose to go without flag. This will, however, drop the gold earned per hour drastically. Let's continue with step 2. Let's buy a storage crate and go around 5 crates, so you will have one inventory better food than coconuts. Don't stress it too much though, as the fortresses will have plenty of supplies, that's why we bought a supply crate. Now go to your map table and look for these 3 fortresses. Now feel free to try out any fort you want, these are just the fortresses that I used. Now if you pick 2 forts that are close to each other, you can basically double your income with no downtime waiting, but for the sake of beginners I will demonstrate how to do one only. If you want to do 2 at the same time, make sure 10 minutes have passed in between taking down the fortresses. When you get close to a fortress, it will start shooting at you, but eventually when you dock it will stop, so you can most of the time ignore the attacks and just repair when you're docked at the fort. Make sure you park your boat out of sight as much as possible. And a quick little bonus tip, also make sure to check for surrounding ships when you're sailing to a fort or sailing away when you're waiting for it to respawn. Alright, and now it's step 4, we run upstairs to the top floor of the castle with our storage crate. That's where we will be killing all the phantoms, so we can check our surroundings at all times, so we won't get any unsuspected visitors. When you get to the boss wave, just focus on the orange named captain, and once you kill him the rest will despawn with him. So you pick up the key and run downstairs to the bottom floor to open the vault. Now if you want to feel extra safe, make sure that you check your surroundings before you go down. When we get into the vault, we want to start stacking every chest, skull or ornament in one place, so we know what loot is new and what loot is old later. Try to do this as quick as possible, because you don't want to get caught red-handed here. Make sure to open every cabinet and drawer inside the vault, as they hide valuables as well. Once you stack the loot on top of each other, you have a total of 1 hour before it despawns. With this strategy, you don't have to worry about that, because we will be back in 10 minutes. Oh, and before I forget, there is a secret key hidden somewhere in the fortress. It can be in cabinets or drawers, and if you find it once, the key stays in the same place every time, so it's definitely worth looking for. Now if you want to do this as well, and I highly recommend it, you will have to make a couple more runs up and down, but yeah, it doesn't take long at all. So once you collected enough resources to do this 3 more times, it's time to sail away. You need to be separated for a minimum of 2 tiles with the fort on the map. So just sail to a nearby island and go fish or watch some Netflix, because the fort will respawn in 8 minutes. That's when you sail back and repeat the process again. If you have plenty of food and cannonballs, you don't need to take your storage crate anymore. So we waited 8 minutes, or if you decided to do 2 forts, you've done the second fort now and you stacked it similar to the one that we just did. You come back, you dock your boat again, out of sight of course, and you finish the captain. This time, you start with replacing all of your old loot to a new spot. It doesn't matter where, as long as you touched it again. Then you place the new loot on top of it, and of course the loot from the top floor with the key that you grabbed at the same place as the last time. You can repeat this process over and over again, but I did it 4 times to reach Gold Hoarder 5 in like 70 minutes. So once you're done stacking your desired amount of times, it's time to collect our profits. The most satisfying part, but also the most dangerous part. So really make sure there's nobody around. You can stop moving loot and go have a quick look around at any time. That almost nobody ever comes doesn't mean that it's certain that they won't. So you killed the captain again and you got the key. This time you want to transform everything from the vault to the little platform right outside on the left. And now while we grab the loot, please like the video as it will help other desperate pirates in need. We will lower the platform later, so you can harpoon everything easily on board. Like I said before, have a small break here to look around to see if the coast is clear. Once we transported all the loot, we interact with the lever by pressing W and S. Same goes for the gate that we will lower right after, so we can swim to our boat. The hardest part is done now. If you harpooned everything, it's time to race to an outpost. Luckily, I picked a fortress pretty close to Port Merrick, so it was a 2-minute sail with loot on board. We harpooned everything again at the Sovereign and made a total of 120k. That could be doubled if I did 2 forts at the same time. And if you have a duo partner and the rowboat, you can do 3 forts at once and triple this per hour. Doing more forts gives you a higher chance to encounter other players though, so do it at your own risk. Another option is to hire the Reaper's flag. It will give you a higher profit for each item sold, but again, it is more risk. Just check what you can do with this strategy. There are loads of ways to use it. You can even use it before going to PvP to fill up your hourglass if you let others invade you. I just hope it helps you in any way possible. Thank you so much for watching and have a good sail.